let's bring in former U.S. Attorney Brett Tolman, along with former federal prosecutor Andrew Cherkasky. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us. Listen, Brett, I want to go to you first. Just want to get your initial reaction to this conviction on 34 charges.
I think we got to focus on the silver lining. The man is free now to go out and actually campaign, get out there and connect with the American people, because I think this was not unsurprising. You cannot be surprised when a judge eliminates, let's look at it from the beginning, eliminates the evidence that will come in support of Donald Trump, does not rule evidence that's unfairly prejudicial against coming in, does not allow certain witnesses the defense wants to pull in, shuts down the defense's cross-examination and direct examination of the only witness they did allow, and then instructs the jury using an instruction that begs the question whether or not the Constitution was ever part of the curriculum of Judge Merchan's legal education. So nobody should be surprised. I'm not surprised. We should be upset. We should be frustrated, but we should also be planning the response, the appropriate response in this country.
Since this case, I think the system is tainted, it's tarnished, and I'm concerned about the new prosecutors, the new judges that take these roles, and they see that this is the path forward. Politics might be able to play as opposed to a fidelity to the Constitution and the rule of law.
Yeah, Sean, you and I, we spent years in the courtroom. We spent our legal part of our legal career appreciating the attempt, at least, to have fairness in the criminal justice system and to evenly apply such powers that we've been given. The game has changed, though, and the game has changed. The rules have changed, and look, I think Republicans that are elected to office need to hit back hard. They need to take the gloves off. The other side is not going to stop being a bully and using this power inappropriately until they fear that it could be used against them. And until that happens, we may not be able to get back to a place where there's mutual respect for the law.
The speed with which that appeal will be taken up, and the areas you went through, all of the ways in which the judge, he didn't just put his thumb on the scale, he was sitting on it during the course of this trial. and also what the prosecution did. But talk about the areas that will benefit President Trump on appeal, and quite frankly, it hopefully will give us faith in the judicial system, that there's a course to correct this verdict.
There's a couple of paths they could take. One is very unusual, but it may be justified in this case, and that's to file an emergency appeal, sort of like Bush v. Gore or IBM or others, where they got a final ruling at the lower court level, and then it was so outrageous, constitutional violations at stake that were so substantial, and take it to the Supreme Court and see if they're willing to grant a stay of the sentence. I doubt they would review the case at that point, but they may be willing to stay the sentence in order for Donald Trump to then pursue his line of appeals within the New York court system. That would perhaps take a lot of the momentum out of what Judge Merchan could do so close to the election. Outside of that, there are plenty of grounds for an appeal to reverse this case. I'm not talking about gray areas. I'm talking about black and white violations by a judge and the evidence that he allowed in and what he didn't allow in, and then the jury instructions themselves.